Yeah, it's white easy. Back again. Billing it. However long it takes, man. I'll still be here. You know what I'm saying?
Artlist.io.
New year, new money, but it's the same thing. Need the yard that don't come cheap before I get ego teeth. Play with sticks and stones, I'm calling them Jamie T. Up chasing coins like Sonic, can trust me, they ain't sleep. Play my songs out of whip, she said keep that shit on repeat. Gotta calculate steps, I gotta
Music
take a step back
licensed.
and breathe.
Reimagined.
Life got busy, I turned 18. Moved out, all that was a dream. Wanna see all of my people free, but I ain't Martin Luther. Just get on the stage and sing. Better be ready for stress, than all of that paper bring. ADHD, I can't wait for shit. My own thing.
This is a K24 Z3 from the junkyard. Got it for 500 and it's going into my blown Civic, but it's not going into my boosted one. It's going into my full bolt-on 85 one. I never got the chance to record the process of me putting this car together, so I want to make sure I do it with this one. So I already started the process of getting this motor taken out. Got the RBC off, got the downpipe off, and the cold air intake. All right, so now I'm just gonna take everything off in the front end, like the bumper, the radiator, and just everything right here, so we can go ahead and pull the motor up and then out. I got everything off in the front. Pretty easy, just everything's a 10 mil. If you have a little impact, super quick. Got everything right there. And then everything I didn't take off, I just moved to the side. So like this bar right here that sat in the front, you can just take off half of it and then put it to the side and leave a lot of the stuff connected. Same thing with these wires right here and these wires right here. Just disconnect it from over there, move it to the side. And then now what I want to do, I'm going to clear all this space up and then take this battery mount off so I can get to the transmission bolts, the transmission mount bolts. But first I'm going to take this off because this is in the way. Got everything loose right here. Everything's loose, everything's unplugged. I got this out the way, I got the cover off. Still a few connectors right there, and then I can move this some more. Got the wiring out of the way. Again, I didn't take everything off. You don't have to take everything off. Everything could just be detached and moved to the side. So I did that. I took off the coils because I want to take off the valve cover, because I plan on using the cams off the Z7 to put on the Z3. The cams on the Z7 from the research I've done are a little bit better. So I'm just hoping the cams aren't covered in rust. I'm gonna take the valve cover off for the first time right now. Oh, they look good. So I guess it just rests on the pistons because these look really good. Here's a closer look at the cams. It really sucks that this motor blew up because it just looks really good, super clean. I think it has 150,000 miles. So once I pull the motor, then I'll switch the cams over on this. Nothing's connected up front at all. Everything's just moved to this side. And we moved it to that side so we can get the shifter cables out, move the ECU out the way, and the battery tray. So nothing's connected in the front, and nothing's connected on this side. Everything here is disconnected. So the only thing that's left to do is take off the wheel, take off the brakes, the rotors, and the whole assembly down here so we can pull the axle. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now that the whole assembly's off, brakes, rotors, pads, the axle just slides right out. You might have to get a pry bar, put it right where the axle meets with the trans, and then it'll pop right out. Got both the axles out. This side is all cleared up. And then now we're gonna figure out how we're gonna wrap the engine up before we take it out. Everything's disconnected down here. Now we're just gonna get this motor mount and the two motor mounts that are up top. All right, this motor mount's off. And then we got a strap right here right in between where the motor mount would sit so it won't slip. And then there's also a groove right there that we're using. All right, got the mount on this side, mount on that side, and then we got it hooked up to the hoist. All right, so once you get the motor mount that's on the bottom off, you get the one on the engine side off, and you get the one on the transmission side, the motor just comes right out. Pretty easy, especially if you have two people, it makes it a lot easier. Then all we have to do now is switch some of the parts that are on that motor to this motor. As we were taking the motor out, this fell on the ground, and all right, so the motor's back in, and I'm just gonna talk about what I switched out. So we had to switch the oil pan because the motor mount bracket's in the back of that oil pan. So we switched it out from the Z7. Obviously we put the transmission on with the clutch, flywheel, and the pressure plate. And another thing we had to change was, I think this is a PCV right there. So that was also switched out. And then we had to switch out the VTEC cylinder that's in the back right here. It looked exactly the same. That was the one on the Z7, but I had some guys tell me to switch that out, so I went ahead and did that. And then another thing we switched out was the, oh, right here, the knock sensor. Both the knock sensors are different, so they both had two different connections, so we switched that out. All right, so car's on the ground, oil's in, transmission fluid's in. I'm going to prime it once or twice just to make sure there's not leaking any fuel from the injectors, from the fuel rail. So after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and do the first startup. All right, I just primed it. No fuel's leaking, but my heart's racing. I'm so nervous to start it up, so let's just see what happens. Just running, smoking a little bit because the downpipe got all oily, I'm pretty sure. So started right up. Hesitated a little bit in the beginning, but other than that, everything sounds good. Okay, so this was the first little test drive around the neighborhood. Still on the same old tune, but not ripping on it, just because it's a different motor. The car felt good, clutch was engaging high, so I need to fix that, but just need to get tuned. So. Swap has been complete. It's been complete for about 3 months now. Motor is very reliable and it holds up against its own. I've been in about 5 races, and if you want to see those videos, they'll be in my Instagram. And I do plan on posting more, so if you want to see the boosted FP6 or the full bolt-on FG4, be expecting those videos in the future.